We have big breaking crypto news, guys, at this hour late on Friday. This just coming in, literally hot off the press. So, breaking crypto news for you guys. Bitcoin as a treasury. The asset has been proposed as a treasury to Meta by its shareholders. Now, Meta, of course, owned by Mark Zuckerberg, at least started and owned by Mark Zuckerberg still. He is going all in on the X, version of social media, right? To bring back freedom of speech and to go away from the fact-checking environment that Facebook, grown accustomed to. And now it looks as if we could be seeing Facebook go in on Bitcoin. We've been waiting for this moment. Big companies like this to actually propose it. We have seen a couple big companies do it. Microsoft recently did it. Shareholders denied it. We'll see if Meta gets behind this idea. We'll see what the shareholders put this to a proposal. And here's the breakdown. Let me give you guys the specifics here. As of September 30th, 2024, Meta has 256 billion in total assets, 72 billion of which is cash equivalents, and marketable securities, including U.S. government bonds, corporate bonds. This is kind of a similar structure to these massive companies. Since cash is consistently being debased and bond yields are lower than the true inflation rate, 28% of Meta's total assets are consistently diminishing shareholder value over time. This is a fact, right? This is why we always talk about, you want to have some money in the bank, but really you want to have money invested, at least in the, on the stock market side. You can get into a money market, account and right now earn 5%, right? But Meta should, and perhaps has a fiduciary duty to consider replacing some of this cash or some percentage of these assets with assets that appreciate more than bonds. Now, a lot of people are scared of Bitcoin because how volatile it is, but all you have to do is look at the last decade, last 12 years. It's not even close, right? Now, even if those assets are more volatile short-term, it says long-term, Bitcoin's still going to be a much better thing to hold some of this cash in over time. Now, due to its verifiable fixed supply, this is the actual supporting statement here. Bitcoin is the most inflation-resistant store of value available. It's performed way better than gold over the last decade. This is especially true compared to other liquid assets, it says. As of December 20th, 2024, the price of Bitcoin had increased by 124% year over year, outperforming bonds by roughly 119%. Bonds just went up 5%. So, yeah, there's going to be down Bitcoin years, but the gains that you have in the good years over time significantly outweigh bonds and significantly outweigh cash. Cash is just losing value if they continue to print more of it. Now, Meta founder, CEO, and chairman Mark Zuckerberg named his GOATs Bitcoin and Max. Meta director Mark Andreessen has praised Bitcoin and is also director at Coinbase. Do Meta shareholders not deserve the same kind of responsible asset allocation by the company that Meta directors and execs likely implement for themselves? Basically, this is a nice selling point here. Look, Mark Zuckerberg's on board. Mark Andreessen's on board. And of course, Meta's second largest institutional shareholder is BlackRock. They advise that a 2% Bitcoin allocation is certainly reasonable. The reasoning behind that allocation holds true for Meta's assets as well. This would be a nice chunk of that cash, that money that's just sitting there earning nothing, essentially losing value over time, right? It says here, corporate and institutional Bitcoin adoption is becoming more commonplace and proving to be an effective strategy. For example, MicroStrategy has been one of the hottest stocks over the last year or so. It's outperformed Meta's stock by 2,200% over the past 5 years. More public companies are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, to their treasuries every week. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is the fastest growing ETF in history. We've never seen anything like it. And the U.S. federal government and some state governments could be forming a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That is coming in from our good friend who we've had on the channel, Dennis Porter. He has been reporting on this. He's been at the cutting edge of this. I'm going to be looking to have him maybe back on the channel at some point soon. We had him on about a couple of years ago, and he was talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. People thought he was crazy then. People said he was nuts. But now we're looking, and it's a real possibility. And it looks as if, the states are trying to front run the government in getting these things passed and getting a Bitcoin strategic reserve in place before the government has the ability to do so. So it says here, Meta has always been a forward-thinking, innovative company. not a company that follows technological trends, but one that sets them. The company has an opportunity to honor that tradition of being a leader in corporate Bitcoin adoption and corporate treasury management, apt for the 21st century. At minimum, Meta should evaluate the benefits of exchanging some, even just a few percent of its cash and bonds for Bitcoin. And there you go. That is the request. That is the proposal. We'll see how this plays out. And we'll be keeping tabs on this. Just wanted to get you guys up to speed. But again, Bitcoin as a treasury asset proposed to Meta by its shareholders. So the shareholders put this together, and they are speaking to the powers that be to try to get Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. It feels as if we're reaching a breaking point finally in crypto, and mass adoption is either here or right around the corner. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys.